Hello. Today we shall look at the classification of polymers. Last time we looked at the three main levels at which the polymer properties are affected. And if we recollect, it is the chemical structure of the molecular chain. The second is the fine structure, and the third is the gross morphology. So today we shall see how the polymers are classified on the various bases, out of which origin, thermal response, and type of polymerization are the three classifications which we shall look into details. So before we go into the classification, let us understand what a polymer really means. Polymer means many units, which is the actual meaning poly, and units means mers. A simple chemical unit repeats itself for a very large number of times in the structure of the polymer molecule. For example, CH2 double bond CH2, which is an ethylene monomer, which has a double bond in it, which as we can see, and it opens out to form a polymer known as polyethylene. So now let us go into the classification of polymers. Polymers can be classified in the following ways. The first one is the origin, which we shall see shortly. And there are six other ways, or other total six ways in which a polymer can be classified. We shall see them one by one. So on the basis of origin, polymers can be natural, semi-synthetic or synthetic. Natural polymers are available in nature, for example, natural rubber, silk, cellulose, starch and protein. Semi-synthetic polymers are chemically modified natural polymers. Example, hydrogenated and or halogenated natural rubber or cellulose. Synthetic polymers are man-made polymers prepared synthetically, for example, polyethylene, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride. So now we look at the second classification of polymers, and that is thermal response. Thermal response, as we can see, polymers can be either thermoplastic or thermosetting, that is non-thermoplastic. Thermoplastic polymers soften on the application of heat, solidify when cooled, and they can again be softened by heating. This is totally reversible and repeatable. Most linear polymers and branch structure polymers with flexible chains are thermoplastic. Non-thermoplastic polymers soften on heating, solidify on cooling, but they cannot be softened again on heating like the thermoplastic ones. Thermoplastic polymers can, the heating, the solidification on cooling, and again reheating, it can be done over and over again, whereas with non-thermoplastic polymers it can be done only once. This is due to the strong covalent links. Thermoset polymers are generally harder and stronger than thermoplastics and have better dimensional stability. Let us look at the third type of classification, that is a type of polymerization on the basis of which polymers may be classified. So various types of polymerization, let us see. The large macromolecules of the commercially useful polymers must be synthesized from substances having smaller molecules in a process termed polymerization. The synthesis of these large molecules, as we term them or call them as polymers, is polymerization. It is simply the process by which monomers are linked together to generate long chains composed of repeat units. Most generally, the raw materials for synthetic polymers are derived from coal, natural gas, and petroleum products. The reaction by which polymerization occurs are grouped into two general classifications, that is addition polymerization and condensation polymerization. So let us look into what is addition polymerization. Addition polymers are formed by simple addition of single units, monomers, and have carbon-carbon linkages along the main chain. That is, no other atoms appear in the main chain. Addition polymerization, sometimes called chain reaction polymerization, is a process by which monomer units are attached one at a time in chain-like fashion to form a linear macromolecule. The composition of the resultant product molecule is an exact multiple of that of the original reactant monomer. Addition polymerization is used in the synthesis of polyethylene, polypropylene, polyvinyl chloride, and polystyrene, as well as many of the copolymers. So we come to the second type of classification for the type of polymerization, and that is condensation polymerization. Condensation polymers are formed by reaction between the molecules by the elimination of a simple byproduct, and the main chain may contain oxygen, nitrogen, or sulfur atoms in the main chain along the carbon-carbon linkages. Whereas in the previous case, there was no other atom in the carbon-carbon linkage in the main chain. Here one may find oxygen, nitrogen, etc. in the linkages. Condensation or step reaction polymerization is the formation of polymers by stepwise intermolecular chemical reactions that may involve more than one monomer species. There is usually a small molecular weight byproduct such as water that is eliminated, or maybe we can say condensed. No reactant species has the chemical formula of the repeat unit, and the intermolecular reaction occurs every time a repeat unit is formed. In the earlier case, the repeat unit and the reactant had the same chemical formula, and only the addition was taking place. Whereas here there may be one or two more molecules. The final product may be a combination of the two, and therefore the reactant species has no. The reactant species will not have the same chemical formula as the repeat unit. Reaction times for condensation are generally longer than for addition polymerization. The thermosetting polyesters and phenol formaldehyde, the nylons, and the polycarbonates are produced by condensation polymerization. So, with this classification, the three types of the first three ones that we saw today, with this we come to the end of the lecture. Thank you.